How's it going, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back to my channel. So tonight I want to talk about the 12 titles that I picked up in the month of January. This is a really big month. I had a lot of gift cards for for Christmas and that kind of thing, and so I really I spent a lot of money on a lot of movies that I really wanted. So I don't know if February will be nearly as big, but I already did a video about the Criterions that I picked up. But the first title I want to talk about is one great movie from the Coen brothers, and it is Fargo. This is from Shout Select. I really like this label. If you know Shout Studios with a Shout Studio, Shout Factory and Scream Factory. It's from the same studio, and I really like what they've done with this line. Definitely a lot of 80s and 90s movies that I really like. But yeah, this one, Coen Brothers, I thought this one looks really great. It's on 4K. Also has a Blu-ray as well with it. But I thought it's never looked that as good as it does now. It's just a very clear. Before it was much more grainy. Even the Blu-ray looks much clearer than it was before on the old Blu-ray that I had. So this is so number one. I've got Fargo, and I'm just gonna put a number on these so you can kind of keep track where I am with them. But this is another one, kind of a controversial movie from 1991. It's from Oliver Stone, and it's called JFK. Starring Kevin Costner. This movie has the director's cut on 4K and on Blu-ray, and they have just the theatrical cut on Blu-ray, and then like a fourth disc is for just special features. And so I've watched all the special features, and I'm getting through all the commentaries. I think I just watched the commentary on the director's cut of the Blu-ray, basically so I can just watch the Blu-ray and not watch the 4K again. Yeah, the director's cut is like 3 hours and 25 minutes long on this, and the actual movie, the theatrical cut was like 3 hours and 8 minutes or something. So yeah, it's controversial because a lot of stuff was based on kind of fantasy or conversations that no one really witnessed. So a lot of it's kind of pieced together just what kind of conversations people may have had at the time. So it's all speculation. But it's still very entertaining, and Kevin Costner is really great in this movie. So the third title here was actually I picked up from the Barnes & Noble Arrow sale, which I think is still running. I think maybe till the 5th, possibly of February, I think. But I picked up Witness. This is starring Harrison Ford. This is from like 1985. It's one of his first serious roles after Indiana Jones and Blade Runner and Han Solo. But playing those characters. But yeah, this one looks fantastic. If you were at Barnes & Noble, they didn't have like a lot of 4Ks, so I ended up just buying this on Blu-ray. But because I think Barnes & Noble is completely sold out on 4K for this title. So I know a lot of people that have found it on 4K through other stores or online and other places. But this is 50% off of all Arrow titles from Barnes & Noble. So I had not seen this movie since like probably the mid to late 80s. So I enjoyed watching this again. I think Harrison Ford's really fantastic in it. I think he was nominated for an Oscar for this, and he's had other roles like The Fugitive. I think he's really great in that movie, and he should have gotten. I don't think he got an Oscar nomination for that movie. So yeah, Witness is a great movie though. So the fourth title here was actually one I actually gave a digital code away a couple weeks ago. But the movie is The Holdovers. Had a conversation with somebody on YouTube that hates the ending to this movie. I have no problem with the ending to the movie. I thought it was fantastic the way it ended, but it's definitely not a Hollywood ending. Some people might say that they just didn't enjoy the way it ended, but I think for the most part, most people like the way it ended. It's directed by Alexander Payne. And I enjoyed this movie. I saw it once in the theater, and I've watched it a couple times on Blu-ray. It doesn't. I don't think it doesn't come with a commentary, but it does have some nice special features on it. So yeah, Paul Giamatti. I think quite possibly he might win an Oscar, or it could be Cillian Murphy possibly. But I enjoy this one a lot. So the fifth title here is actually just like The Holdovers. It's also nominated for Best Picture. The movie is Past Lives. This movie it's in Korean. It has a lot of English in it. I think it's like maybe 70% Korean, the rest is in English. Yeah, this movie's really interesting. Just kids that haven't seen each other. Two people that haven't seen each other since they were children, and just kind of regrets, basically in life. And so, yeah, I really enjoy this one, and the subtitles really didn't bother me that much. And like I said, it's probably at least 30% English, so a lot of it's easy to kind of follow. The storyline's very simple. So yeah, I enjoy this one too. So the sixth title here is actually one if you really like Weird Al Yankovic, like I grew up with Weird Al. This one is one that was on the Roku channel. It's Weird the Al Yankovic story, starring Daniel Radcliffe, obviously Harry Potter. I think for the pool scene in this movie alone, I think is worth buying this. A lot of people thought it was going to be like a standard biopic where it's giving a lot of accurate information, and a lot of this is not like that at all, really. Some of it's based on fact, but a lot of it's just made kind of in a comical kind of style, and just making up things that are just so crazy, but a lot of fun. Weird Al's life, I don't think was nearly as interesting as it is in this movie. So yeah, this movie may not be for everyone. A lot of people have probably seen it on Roku channel, but yeah, and I had not watched it in probably a year and a half or so. So the eighth title here is actually one from Gareth Edwards. The movie's starring John David Washington, which is Denzel Washington's son. The movie's The Creator. Actually, on my channel, I'm doing a digital code giveaway right now, and I'll link that in this video as well, so you can kind of, if you want to sign up for that digital code to possibly win that one, you can try to sign up for it if you don't want to actually buy the physical media, or if you want to check it out first before buying it. But yeah, this one's, I saw this in a true IMAX theater. It had the kind of theater where the screen kind of wraps around a little bit, and it's a really tall screen with stadium seating. It's definitely different than some of the other AMC IMAX theaters that look kind of like the standard auditoriums. This one's a little bit different from that, and you get that full picture and sound. And so it's a movie that kind of grows on me. It's kind of a long movie and kind of slow, kind of like a Blade Runner in some ways. But yeah, I enjoy it, but it's definitely not going to be for everybody. So the ninth title here is actually one from it's from Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez, and it's one that's a lot of us have been waiting for it to get released on 4K for quite a while, and I just happened to find this online. But the movie is From Dusk Till Dawn, and it's the Ultimate Edition, which is really I think this is basically taken from like the European version, the Blu-ray version of that. I bought it from a company that's in like Michigan. You can ask me in the comments how I bought it. I may have kind of overpaid for it a little bit, but I years back, I know like in October 26 of 2021, this is supposed to get a 4K release, and at that time I used to have it on DVD and had Blu-ray, because if you know, the Blu-ray has like nothing on it. If you buy it in the US, it's completely just a bare bones Blu-ray. So I ended up keeping my DVD just so I can keep all the special features and the great commentary with Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. So you missed that on the Blu-ray, and so I had to keep the DVD and Blu-ray. But so before that 4K release, I actually got rid of those because I thought I was going to buy it on 4K, and then now it's almost over 2 years later, and it still hasn't been released yet. So who knows when it will. I think basically now that I bought this, it probably will get released on 4K now. So you can thank me if it gets a 4K release. Probably be this October more than likely. But this is definitely a wild movie. When I saw it in the theater the first time, I knew nothing about it. I hadn't watched any trailers or anything for it. Had no idea what the movie was about, and it's kind of shocking in some ways the first time you see it. So I love the action in it. So I'll say nothing else about it for anyone out there that hasn't seen it yet. It's definitely worth checking out. So the ninth title here is actually one I've already given the digital code away, but the movie is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. This was one that I still like it more than Crystal Skull, but a lot of people didn't like this movie all that much. It's supposed to be John Williams' last film score he was ever going to do, and now I've heard rumors that he might do the new Superman movie, so who knows, but he's a legend to me. Harrison Ford's a legend to me. Just like I bought Witness, I actually enjoy this movie. It does have a lot of CGI in it, but to me it's less CGI than what was in the Crystal Skull. So I think I like the story. It reminds me more of like the early Indiana Jones movies more than the other ones. But and it's directed by James Mangold. If you ever saw Logan, he directed that one. So yeah, I like this movie, but it's definitely polarizing in a lot of ways. So the 10th title here is actually one I bought used, and I've kind of gotten into like a Christopher Nolan kind of kick here with with Oppenheimer. He's potentially that movie could win Best Picture, and he will probably he'll probably get Best Director for that. But the movie is Interstellar. I actually saw this in the theater the first time. Was it 2017? And I had not seen it since then. So it's kind of a long movie, just like a lot of Christopher Nolan movies. It's a bit overly long, but I enjoyed this movie enough that and I liked it a lot more the second time I watched it. So it's one that kind of grows on you. But once you've seen it one time, you kind of know where it's going to end, and it doesn't seem quite as long as it did in the theater. But I like the effects in this movie as well. A lot of it's practical effects, quite a bit of it. So yeah, this one, Interstellar, I think a lot of people like it, but some people probably don't. Okay, the 11th title here is actually another Christopher Nolan movie, and this is another one I bought used. The movie is Dunkirk. I think a lot of people like this movie, but it's another one that's kind of this one's actually kind of short. I think it's like an hour and 40 minutes, which is unusual for Christopher Nolan to make a shorter film like that. It has Cillian Murphy's in it. He's not really in it a ton, but he's in this movie as well. It's interesting story. If you're British, you know that whole story about it takes place in France, in Dunkirk, France, and so I think it's inspiring. I think a lot of people in England definitely look up to this story. It's kind of a legendary kind of tale. So yeah, it's Dunkirk. I think it's worth checking out if you haven't yet. Check it out. Okay, the last title is actually another Coen Brothers movie. So that wasn't planned, where I put Coen Brothers to start off and then Coen Brothers to end this. But this is the 12th title. This is one I had not seen in a while. I had it on DVD before, but the movie is Barton Fink. It's John Turturro as a character on the front there. It's a really bizarre kind of movie. It's probably I'd probably rank maybe 7 or 8 movies from the Coen Brothers ahead of this one possibly. But it's an interesting story, very bizarre. It has John Goodman. I think he's been in like 5 Coen Brothers movies. He's great in this movie. So it's a really bizarre kind of movie, but it's one that I enjoyed a lot more watching it this time. I think I've only seen it like maybe 3 or 4 times, and it's kind of grown on me quite a bit. So yeah, definitely Barton Fink. Check that out. This is like I think it's like a collector's edition. So yeah, check it out. Okay, that's it for tonight. I think I did pretty well with not getting too carried away. And please, I enjoy the fact that everybody watched this video. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and please give the video a thumbs up. It definitely helps with the YouTube algorithm, helps my channel grow. So thanks everybody. Have a great one. Thank you.